Sometimes in accounting, not all our debtors pay their accounts, and this can cause us to write their debt off as we're never going to receive it. That is what we call a bad debt. There's also sometimes we will need to put an allowance in for doubtful debts because not all of our debtors may pay it back. So there's two processes happening here at the moment. So before we do the allowance, we must always write the bad debts off. So here we have our debtor Tim. He owes the business $1,000 and he's going to be a bad debt. So we'll start with our journal entries. So always start with our debit. Now bad debt is an expense, therefore this is debit in nature. So we're going to debit the bad debt. And Tim owes us $1,000. And then credit, well, Tim is our debtor. This is on the debit side, so we need to make this account 0. To achieve that, we'll need to credit the account. So, debtor, Tim as our subsidiary, $1,000. You should always write your narration too. So, let's do our debit first. So over here, 30th of June, our debtor, 1,000. And then do our credit into the subsidiary, which also goes up into our control account as well. Bad debt, 1,000. And into the control account as well. Bad debt, 1,000. This makes our debtor now 0, and overall our balance here in our debtor control is $19,000. So we've written the bad debt off. For us to do the allowance, we can see that if we want 10% of 19,000, that gives us $1,900. First, we need to look at, before we do the allowance, we need to look at our allowance for doubtful debts, if there's a balance. For example, say if we had a balance of 2,000 here, then what we must do, if there is a balance, we must transfer the bad debt to this account. Okay, so we've got $1,000 here. So to write the journal, it would be, this is debit, so we need to credit bad debt to take it out, $1,000, and we need to debit the allowance account. Allowance for DD, 1,000. Let's do that. Let's post those to the ledgers. 30th of the June, bad debt, 1,000. And then on the credit, allowance for DD, 1,000. It has taken our bad debt account to 0. Now, to do this allowance part, we need to formally balance this account. To do that, we start by ruling off the account to formally balance it. We know that our allowance for doubtful debt is a negative current asset. So that means it is credit in nature. So we want the balance of this account to equal 1,900. And when we formally balance, we also put that on the debit side at balance date. Balance carried down 1,900. Now it's a bit of a juggling act. This side has 2,900, this side has 2,000. So to balance it, we write 2,900, 2,900. For this side, the credit side, to add up to 2,900, we need an amount of 900. And that amount is what is our doubtful debt. So on the 30th of June, our doubtful debt is 900. So if I did that journal entry, it is doubtful debt, 900, and the credits is allowance For DD, 900. Whoops, one too many zeros there. 900. There is our journal entry. Posted over here. 30th of the June. Allow for DD, 900. Now that is how we, 1, write a bad debt off, 2, put an allowance in our accounts with our net debtors when we have a balance. Remembering we had the transferred bad debts over. Thank you so much.